Well, as thousands of refugees from South Sudan continue to pour into Uganda to escape attack from armed forces, the situation has created the largest refugee crisis after Syria and Afghanistan. That's according to the UNHCR. VOA's Mariama Diallo has more.
The ongoing violence in Africa's newest country has created the continent's largest refugee crisis. Via Skype from Geneva, Babar Baloch, UNHCR spokesperson.
We now have 1.5 million refugees that have fled South Sudan, seeking safety and taking refuge in the neighboring countries.
Uganda is the largest recipient of South Sudanese refugees.
Around 700,000 have fled to Uganda. Others have gone to Sudan, Ethiopia, DRC, Central African Republic as well. And what we have seen is that all these communities in the neighboring countries who are welcoming the South Sudanese refugees, they don't have enough themselves.
Sida Hawa and her 6 children recently arrived in Kaluba, a small town in northern Uganda.
I had just planted some crops and I was waiting to harvest. I lost everything because of the war. They are killing people.
Raymond Tawongo barely escaped his hometown on an old bicycle. He lost everything when his village was attacked.
Look at me. I'm wearing torn, dirty clothes. We sleep in the bush. This is a terrible situation.
Hawa and Tawongo are among the thousands of refugees streaming into Uganda since intense fighting broke out again in July following the collapse of a peace deal between the government and opposition forces. Brian Adeba says it's time to focus on the root causes of the conflict.
These charades that are taking place, like the national dialogue, which is not inclusive, the statements by JMEC, the organization that is supposed to oversee this peace agreement, the statements that allude to the fact that, hey, everything is moving on smoothly. This is just a phantom process, and we need to recognize the peace deal for what it is. It is dead.
For that, Adeba says all the parties involved need to return to the negotiating table.
The government is a key actor in this conflict, and it needs to be at the table. The SPLM-IO in opposition, led by Dr. Riek Machar, has to be at the negotiating table as well. But we also have to be cognizant of the groups, the armed groups that have come up. There are several of them in the Equatorias and in Upper Nile that need to be brought to the table.
The Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission has called upon all the parties involved to cease all military activity. Mariama Diallo, VOA News.
In northeast Nigeria, some may feel like refugees in their own land, while Boko Haram terrorists have destroyed homes and shattered lives. But rebuilding efforts are underway now and include a collaboration between the Borno State government, UNDP, and the Japanese government in some of the worst-hit communities. Well, Channels Television's correspondent Blessing Tuna compiled this next report.
The Boko Haram terrorist penchant for razing villages during their attacks in the northeast leaves a lot of work to be done in rebuilding the area, especially on crucial areas such as education, healthcare and housing. Kaga community in Borno State has many displaced people who upon returning from IDP camps became homeless. But this is about to change for at least 192 families who will be getting new homes by early March, courtesy of a reconstruction project.
They are happy. A villager whom he didn't sleep under the block, under the block, and now he's living under the roof, blocked rooms. You know, there will be wonder. If the rain is coming, you know, they will not hear the sound of rain. So they will be happy. They change their life.
Of all the humanitarian interventions in the region, this project, a collaboration between the Borno State government, the Japanese government and the United Nations Development Programme, aims to provide shelter for the people.
What's important for us is to see how the project progresses, and I have to say that I'm very impressed with what I saw. I'm just coming from Sudan. I've been hardly here for 3 weeks, and I can compare different contexts. And I must say that the speed and the quality within which this project was set up, the schools were built with local labor, that basically recruiting those people that were most in need of immediate jobs is really amazing.
The walls are being built fast, owing to the relentless efforts of masons like Booker, driven not just by the hope of a laborer's wage, but sheer gratitude to getting a new lease on life. He, like many others, lost his home and source of livelihood.
My daily pay as a mason is 3,000 naira. Others get between 1,500 and above. I rented a house in town and put my family there. I pray other idle youths out there would be encouraged to work and fend for themselves.
For the state government, the task of rebuilding the Northeast goes beyond giving handouts to the people, rather empowering the returnees with means of livelihood with which they can in turn afford their basic needs, while the government focuses on bigger projects.
We are not trying to just give them houses alone, because we want to now inculcate the means of livelihood, a package. So if you can see the buildings, in between the houses, the space is 500 square meters, so that at least every owner of the house will have a drip irrigation kit worth 500,000 square meters for him to now start his farming activities.
When compared to an estimated 500,000 houses destroyed by Boko Haram across the state, 192 houses may be a small fraction, but for those who have tested homelessness and now feel the warmth of shelter, this is a reason to celebrate. They expect the government to accelerate efforts in rebuilding every destroyed infrastructure to guarantee development in the region.
Across the United States, many businesses were closed on Thursday of last week. It happened as a result of a day without immigrants, a nationwide strike to raise awareness of the contribution immigrants make in the U.S. Lots of workers stayed home and businesses shuttered their doors without enough employees to operate, or in solidarity with workers, as was the case for some restaurants here in Washington. The action cost small business owners tens of thousands of dollars, earnings some owners said they were willing to lose to shine a light on the impact of immigrants in America.
It's time now for a short break, but before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information around the clock. You can also find us on youtube.com/channelsweb. And still to come, in Egypt, a revival in cotton as a commodity is having a positive impact on bed and clothing manufacturers. We'll bring you that story when we return.